hello everyone. Today I will talk about the automatic deployment with Circle CI and AWS Code Deploy. So frankly speaking, I don't know the technical details yet. So just feel free to fix my parts or give any feedback. So, all right, let's go. So here is my table of contents. So first, I will introduce the situation that I faced and the approaches to solving them. So, like talking about why I choose this topic. And second, I will talk about the continuous integration and continuous delivery, which is usually abbreviated by CI/CD. So hence, I will introduce what CI/CD is and the specific service to implement the flow with the Circle CI in my project. So third, and I will introduce the AWS Code Deploy with the advantages to use it and the process of it with the event hook lifecycle and the aspect file to implement the flow. So lastly, I will introduce what I do later. So like managing the environmental variables and with the IAM in AWS, which abbreviates by identity and access management, maybe. So, and SSM, systems manager in AWS, and also building a monitoring system to alert to the Slack, like notify about the status of the deployments or kind of something. So yeah, this is my table. This is the table of contents. So first, I'm gonna talk about why did I choose this topic. So these days, I deployed several projects with my team members, and each project has its own environment variables. So I should manage the environment variables all while they are open source projects. So that is the first problem that I faced. And also it is inconvenient to connect the instance server to deploy a new application every time when I have changes. So, and also I need to build a monitoring system to manage the deployments about the application with a kind of single dashboard for the convenient. So like when I make a kind of image, like I want to deploy the GitHub source code to the AWS EC2 efficiently. So that is the aim of my project. So I thought how I solve these problems. So I think there are lots of CI/CD services, which means make the deployments automatically, and I think it also can like make a building a monitoring system with this Circle CI to the like alerts about the status to the Slack. So I think this process is will be fine to implement or build. So this is my approaches. And first, I'm gonna before I talk about the AWS service, I think I'm gonna first talk about the CI/CD, continuous integration and continuous deploy. So CI stands for continuous integration, so which is an automation process to integrate changes with the uh, previous source codes and a shared memory. So like the pipeline of the CI, continuous integration, allows developers to do their task without any errors, such as like conflicts. Like when you make a pull request with a like lots of branches with many team members, you can easily make a conflicts. So like if you build a pipeline of the continuous integration, it build the pipeline to test the code and like merge the code automatically. So it allows to developers do their task without any errors. So this is the aim of the CI. And about the CD, there are two meanings on the D. So first, delivery, and second, deployment. So first, like the delivery parts. So delivery means like automatically unloading the changes about the source code to the repository, and like the operation team members, not the developers, the operation team members can deploy the changes to the production level. So that is the continuous delivery, and the deployment means like releasing the changes automatically to the production level. So it doesn't you don't need to like you don't need a like kind of operation team members. So just deployment execute like the scripts or like build a system to uh, deploy the use application to the production level. So this is the CI/CD pipeline. And as you can see the images, there are lots of services which you can choose for the CI/CD: GitHub Actions, Circle CI, Jenkins, Travis CI, and I think etc. So well, I've never used the Jenkins and Travis CI, so I just find the advantage of it. However, uh, I've experienced to implement with a GitHub Actions, and I change it from the actions to the Circle CI because like the advantage of the GitHub Actions is you can create the build matrix. So the build matrix means that you can run the test code to the lots of operation systems or versions or kind of something. Like for example, when you want to run the test in Python version 3.8, 3.9, 3.10, like and etc., you can make a build matrix to running the test easily. So this is the advantage of using GitHub Actions. However, when you use Circle CI, it makes easier to monitor or like manage the several projects or deployments with a single dashboard. So with a single dashboard, that is the point why I choose the Circle CI. So like as you can see the image, like there are lots of the status of the deployment, success and unfortunately failed. So you can manage the lots of projects and application, even front end like application like app or back end like at all time on a single dashboard. So this is the advantage of it, and also it makes easier to build the Slack notification pipeline. So when I fail the CI/CD, so it just alerts to the Slack. So oh, you failed. Yeah. So it makes easier to like making a monitoring system. So not only the monitoring system, but also there is a advantage to manage the environment variables safely. So as you can see, like kind of if you want to alert or making a notification system to the Slack, you should make a access token or secret token of the Slack API. However, this is the common variables to like share lots of project, because like project A, if you build a project A with a Circle CI, like using CI/CD, it also needs to alert to the same channel on Slack, and project B is the same, C is the same. So the all of the project share the same environment variables. So it is easier to manage the common variables on Circle CI with using the context. So context, and also you can manage the specific environment variables, like kind of this is the variables only using like specific project. So like you can handle the kind of configurations easily when you use Circle CI 2. So these two things are the reasons why I choose Circle CI. So now I'm gonna talk about the AWS code deploy. And so you can deploy your application without any stops, and because it supports rolling and blue-green updates. So these technical skills are called a non-stop deployment, which is 무중단 배포 in Korean. And however, I don't know the difference of it and the details of it. So maybe I'm going to tell you later. So yeah, I don't know it yet. However, moreover, you can centralize the controls of the deployments because you can group the deployments in AWS code deploy. So making it easy to manage with a centralized environment. And additionally, you can set a notification system with AWS SNS, which is abbreviates by simple notification service. So of the like to alert the status of the deploy. So kind of that. So these are the advantage of using AWS code deploy. So and these are the event hooks to using AWS code deploy. So like there is a cycle of the code deploy to when you implement the like deployment. So like first when you execute the code deploy, so it execute the start event hook, which means like just executing the code deploy agent, and and later application stop, literally stop the previous application and download the bundle. So just bring the new application, which means bring the like source code to the instance EC2, and before install, so like store the previous environment variables, and just install the new application, like unzip the source code and like installing, so starting or like validating the service. So like, oh, is service starting or not? Like kind of that, and the end of it. So this is the process of the code deploy. So you can write down the script of these blue boxes. So, and however, you can't write any scripts or you can't touch any the system of the gray boxes, like kind of start event hooks or download bundles. So like this is the abstract file to execute the event hook. So as you can see, the hooks part, there is a name after install. And as you can see before, there is an after install event hooks with a blue box, which means you can write the scripts of it. And if the code deployment process like flows the from start to the end, and if it uh, if it is on the after install, it just execute this code. So it just execute the install dependencies shell script. So like for example, the process of it, so start the deployment and like blah 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 blah, and oh, I faced the after install. So at the after install, so it said like, oh, you have to use install dependencies shell script, and the install dependencies shell script says that, oh, you have to using like these kind of script. So like the process of the code deploy is like kind of this. So these are the examples that I used on my project. So like when I install, when I'm on the after install event hook, which means like change the environment, which means like kind of installing the new dependencies. So as you can see, like I write down the script poetry install, and poetry is the uh, dependency manager in Python, like kind of npm in JavaScript. So poetry install means, oh, you have to install new dependencies. So and the start server level. So like as you can see, as the start server application start, so start a new service, start a new application. So it execute this code to start a new application. So poetry run Gunicon means like starting the new application with the WAS, web application server, in Python Gunicon. So like the AWS code deploy like flows like kind of this process. So in the future, what I want to do later. So first, as I mentioned at first, I need to manage my environment variables. So well, I didn't talk about the details about like using how I using the system manager, or how I separate the rules with the IAM in AWS. So I'm gonna talk about the later. So this is what I want to do later. And second, also, I think I need to build the monitoring system to like making a Slack notification. So well, because as you can see before, the Circle CI alerts the CI/CD whether CI/CD is succeed or not to the Slack. However, I have to build a new notification system about the code deploy. So I'm gonna make a kind of the, what can I say, this process about this, design the system, like I think I'm gonna use the CloudWatch and the AWS Lambda to making a alert system to the Slack about like my code deploy system is succeed or not. So like if I fail this part, like if I fail to start new application, um, now I can't catch that time good that I failed the serve the new application. So I have to watch manually to like sign in the AWS and just watch, and wait it, and failed. So kind of this. So I want to make it convenient. So I don't know whether it's possible or not, but I think it is possible, and I'm gonna try it after the midterm. So after finishing studying Swedish. So yeah, that's so. So well, in the conclusion, like Swedish is hard. So this is the end of my presentation. So thank you for listening. So
Oh,
yeah.
Wow,
great,
nice.
great, great.